Hello everyone and welcome to the PPL Division 2 Week 6 Power Rankings. I am unfortunately all by myself. Beck won't be joining me for this week. She has some real life issues which she is taking care of right now, and yeah, we weren't able to schedule time because she's out of her house and all that fun stuff. So I ended up doing them alone, and yeah. So I kind of want to do this really quick, but nonetheless, I should still be criticizing your competitiveness and all that fun stuff. So unfortunately, no banter this week, no funny shit talking. But yeah, we shall get right started with the spots from 12 to 9. In my 12th spot, I do have once again Paulie. Paulie just can't recover from the 12th spot, as it seems. I have to admit, of course I watched this battle, but I have to admit I got confused. Like, there was an actual Wi-Fi battle, then there was a DC, and then I tried to recreate it on Showdown, and there was hacks in the Wi-Fi battle which didn't happen in the Showdown battle, but I got hella confused. But from what I can judge, from what I got, just looking at both drafts from Kelly and Paulie, Paulie's Landorus was definitely his win condition. Just looking at both drafts, Landorus was crucial, and he kinda messed up. Apparently in the Wi-Fi battle, the Crobat was frozen, and he did go for Stone Edge instead of a Sword Stance. Just instead of setting up with the Landorus, he missed out on the opportunity to potentially sweep. I don't know how well this sweep would have gone, because Kelly basically had a Milotic which could potentially take care of the Landorus. So I mean, he missed the opportunity to set up, but I don't know how much it would have actually mattered. Like, Milotic was there to stop the sweep somehow. So yeah, but the Landorus was definitely his win condition. He realized that from the beginning, tried to sweep, and that's a huge plus point for you, Paulie. Realizing which mon is your win condition and then trying to go for it, that's great. But unfortunately it didn't work out. He also lost Thundress a little too early. He kind of needed it, but he died way too early to the Milotic, I want to say. I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the Thundress died way too early. And yeah, but Paulie, during the battle, he realized his mistakes. Like, he knew what he did wrong. And I mean, that's another great step forward. If you know what you did wrong and trying to improve on that, that's great. Like, Paulie, you have an amazing draft. You took over an amazing draft. You just need to get used to it and make it work. I count on you, Paulie. I really count on you moving up from the 12th spot to at least 11th. I don't know. But you can definitely do it, Paulie. You can definitely do it. So yeah, this was my 12th spot. I shall move on to my 11th, being Eric. Okay. Let me pull up my notes for Eric. We all know Eric from the TBU. He is an amazing battler. I don't know. He is an amazing battler, but just some things went wrong in that battle. He lost 2-0. I want to say he would have won. Like, he tried to set up Calm Minds with the Spiritomb, and I mean, it would have worked. Aromatisse didn't do enough damage with the Moonblast. I mean, there was the potential special attack drops, but with the special defense increasing, basically Aromatisse was set up fodder for Spiritomb. So, but Chi, fortunately for Chi, he got a crit on the Spiritomb and O-coded, I think he O-coded with the Moonblast, and yeah, that was a crucial point in the battle. If the crit would not have happened, like, if Eric would have been able to set up enough with Spiritomb and then sweep with Shadow Balls, the battle would have been totally different. But because of the crit, Spiritomb went down, and at that moment I think Eric just kind of started panicking. Like, as soon as Spiritomb went down, he started panicking and kind of made silly mistakes, like going for Earthquake on the Mesprit, even though its ability is Levitate. I know there was a possibility for Chi to switch in the Aromatisse on a potential Dragon Claw, but still, like, he could have 2-hit KO'd the Aromatisse with an EQ afterwards, and I just don't know. He started to make silly mistakes, and yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for you, Eric. I watched the battle. When Spiritomb went down, I was like, no, what the heck? But also, I was kind of confused why he did not bring Mandibuzz. I mean, Mandibuzz has defog, it can get rid of rocks. Rocks kind of start to hurt Eric, and he didn't have a way to remove it. So I was kind of confused why Mandibuzz wasn't there, because Mandibuzz would have done like a lot. Mandibuzz would have been a nice counter to so many Pokemon Chi had on his team, but he didn't bring it. I don't know. And also, okay, guys, leaks are all about being creative, making silly sets and all that fun stuff. But Mean Look Debond Gardevoir, can we talk about that? I mean, it's not the best of sets, but huge props to you, Eric, for actually making it work. I think he brought it especially to take out the Empoleon, and he did. I don't know. Just Eric. Mean Look Decibond Eric, that has spelled Eric all over. Like, what the hell, Eric? That was amazing. I love that so much. But yeah, the battle was kind of unfortunate. He started panicking from what I saw, and yeah, but he would have won. If the crit didn't happen, I think he would have actually won, not even gonna lie. But yeah, we shall move on. This was my 11th spot, and now we shall move on to the 10th spot, being Juan. Juan unfortunately did not upload. I think, I mean, I saw Chaos side of the battle, but Juan didn't upload, so I don't know what was going on. Juan basically lost. Like, I want to say Juan lost, and once again, because of hacks, the battle was turned around. Chaos was able to set up with Ambipom and then Baton Pass into Victini, but because Juan got off a confusion with Tornadoes, and Victini ended up hitting itself, the sweep didn't happen, and it just ended up being a stally battle. But I don't know what was up with Juan, I don't know what his thought process was, so I'm not even gonna say too much about that. It just ended up being kind of a stally battle. I think it was 65 turns long, so that's a thing. But yeah, that's definitely a thing. But Juan, he definitely won, and I still put him up to the 10th spot because I just think Eric performed worse in the last 2 weeks than what Juan did from the start of the season. Like, that's just me. So Juan, you earned the 10th spot somehow. I wanna say somehow. But yeah, that's my 10th spot, and now on my 9th spot I do have his opponent from week 6 being Chaos. So I can talk about this right now a little bit. Can I just mention how much I loved the team building on Chaos' side? Like, first off, Rock Slides Dusknoir to take on the Volcarona. Like, it didn't OHKO, I think it did 98%, it didn't OHKO, but still, like, I didn't even know. Honestly, I didn't even know Dusknoir gets Rock Slide, so I would have walked into that trap as well. So really nice Chaos, nice team building on Dusknoir, as well as Nasty Plot, Baton Pass, Ambipom. Can we talk about that? That was amazing. Nasty Plot and then Nasty Plot, Agility, and then Baton Pass into the Victini, and Victini also had Protect in case the Medicham wanted to come in and fake out. So, wow, that's amazing. Amazing team preparation. He was prepared. He planned the sweep. He almost got it off. He was prepared for everything. He was prepared and ready to sweep with Victini. But, I don't know. Juan got a confusion off on the Victini with the Hurricane, and Victini ended up hitting itself, so the sweep did never happen, unfortunately. And just same with Eric, I think Chaos just started to panic after that and kind of lost a lot of momentum. And yeah, the battle ended up being really stally. He wasn't really able to work around the Thunderous afterwards, and that was just sad times. I felt really bad for Chaos. I felt bad for Chaos and Eric. They both had the games in the bag, but just some bullshit happened, and they could not have won. They could not have won. So Chaos, really nice. Keep your head up. But just one question, Chaos. Just one question. You said you're not gonna do live comment, You're not gonna live com the battle anymore. That's fine. Like, that's completely fine with me. But you had the replay. Why didn't you commentate over the replay? Like, it would give me a little bit more insight on what actually happened and your thought process or something. I don't know if you mentioned that in your video. If you did, I'm truly sorry. I kind of just skipped through the sets and then to the actual battle. I'm sorry. But yeah, Chaos, definitely let me know. But your team preparation was on point. You were ready to win this match, but hacks happened and you didn't. But yeah, well done, Chaos. Still, well done. And with that, we shall move on to my 8th spot. So we had the first 4, and now we move on to the mid people from the power rankings. And on my 8th spot, I do have Jordinez. Jordinez didn't upload, but he lost 5-0 to E-Storm. And looking at both drafts, from what I could have told, Jordan had a really like an extremely bad matchup against E-Storm's draft. Basically, Altaria completely walled his team, and yeah, I don't want to say too much about from Jordan's side because he didn't upload, and that's kind of sad. Jordan, you're an amazing guy. I want to see you upload. I want to get more insight on what actually happened. But yeah, from what I could have told, from what I can say is his draft got completely walled by E-Storms, and that's never good. You have to try to work around that a little bit and still make the best out of it, but it was too much. E-Storm is an amazing battler, and it just did not happen. Like, I think Jordan could have even lost 6-0, but E-Storm, unfortunately, I think it was a misclick. I think E-Storm let his Registeel go down, but if he didn't, I think it would have been a 6-0, in all honesty. But yeah, Jordan, really unfortunate. You're dropping down the power rankings again. You were in the first spot in the very first week. God damn it, Jordan. Come on. But yeah, I'm a little Jordan fanboy, and I want to see you do good again. I want to see you do good. But week 6 was kind of horrible. Like, I'm sorry. It was kind of horrible. But moving on to my next spot, number 7, I do have RubyMarrow. Okay, oh god, I actually wrote quite a bit to Ruby. Ruby lost 2-0. But what I want to say, as I mentioned earlier when talking about Eric, a league is all about being creative, surprise your opponents, and catch him off guard. Like, and that's what Ruby did. The Jolteon set, I think he had Agility, Baton Pass, Thunder Wave, and Light Screen. I think that was the set on Jolteon, and dudes, I love that. Like, unconventional sets like that, and making them somehow work. Like, on paper they look like they do not work, but in league formats they might work, and Ruby made it work against Travistey, I think, against Travistey, yeah, he made it somehow work, and it's amazing. I love that set. Huge props to you, Ruby. Sometimes, despite from his team building, something else, he predicted boldly sometimes, but it worked out nicely, but sometimes it just didn't take advantage of that. It's been a long time since I watched his battle, so I just wrote this down. I can't remember what occasion it actually was, but I think he, at some points of the game, he predicted really boldly. It did work out for that moment, but he didn't take advantage of that. Like, yeah, that's what I wrote down. Anyway, something else to Ruby. Ruby could have actually won. In my honest opinion, I think Ruby could have won. There was this occasion, he had his Charizard X in the battle, and Travistey brought in his Cobalion. Ruby set up a Dragon Dance on the Cobalion's... No, Charizard set up Dragon Dance on the incoming Cobalion, and then the Cobalion went for the close combat, and Ruby decided to just kill it off with a Flare Blitz. I want to say, I can't quite remember, but he decided to just kill off the Cobalion. The close combat didn't do 50%, nowhere near 50%. So what he should have done, in my honest opinion, was take the close combat from the Cobalion and either go for Roost or go for a second Dragon Dance. If he went for his second Dragon Dance, he would have won. He would have most definitely won. Of course, he was scared of the Sucker Punch from the Sableye, but if he actually went for Roost and then for second Dragon Dance, he didn't have to fear anything. If he had two D-Dances up, he would have been able to outspeed the Cobalion, take it down with a Flare Blitz, and then just sweep through the rest of Travistey's team. Yeah, I mean, he missed. I don't think he realized that himself. Did you, Ruby? I can't quite remember from the video, but I think you missed out on that opportunity to actually win against Travistey, and that's really unfortunate. I love your team building, Ruby. In general, Ruby, your team building is great. You just sometimes lose to silly mistakes. Like, you have a win condition, you have one moment where you could actually turn the battle around, and then it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Yeah, that's... If going for second D-Day, Dragon Dance or Roost, he would have won him the game. Like, definitely. That's still why Ruby is so low on the power rankings. He's 7th spot. But yeah, we shall move on to my 6th spot, being Jack, E-Storm, and can we just appreciate how amazing he did this week? Like, his opponent was Jordinez, and as I already said, Jack had a safe switch into everything. Like, there was something. For example, of course, there were a lot of moments where Jordinez had his Sylveon in on either one of E-Storm's dragons, and he always had a safe switch into Registeel. Jordinez didn't overpredict. I mean, Jordinez never predicted anything, I think, and never did a double. Like, Registeel was a decimated switch into Sylveon, but he never predicted that, I think, which was unfortunate, really unfortunate. But as I said, Jack had safe switches into everything. He had safe switches into everything, and the team matchup was definitely in his favor, judging from that. And yeah, it just... E-Storm's draft completely bodied Jordinez's draft. Also, one thing I want to say, Dragalge. Hydro Pump on Dragalge is beast. Like, Dragalge has such a wide move pool that you would not expect it to actually get Hydro Pump. It has so much coverage. It gets Play Rough, Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, just so many coverage moves. I think it also gets Shadow Ball. Like, just, it has so much coverage. Dragalge in League formats is amazing. And I think with the Hydro Pump, Dragalge actually managed to kill the Heatran, and Heatran would completely body a standard Dragalge, but Isom prepared nicely for that, putting on Hydro Pump on Dragalge, especially for the Heatran, and that's amazing. People overlook its amazing move pool, and that's amazing. I love that. I think Jordinez just needs to do a little bit more scouting. Like, he's not really that familiar with the draft format. He just needs to do a little bit more scouting, like see what certain mons could potentially run and all that fun stuff. Like, yeah, you have to expect everything, and Check did everything. And also, besides Dragalge, his stream preparation on the Altaria was amazing. Thankfully, he this time he put Double Edge on there instead of Return. And of course, Double Edge, you take recoil, but it has 20 more base power, and that was noticeable. Like, it was almost an OHKO on the Sylveon, and that's amazing. Like, Altaria was prepared for everything. It had Fire Blast for the Scissor, it had Earthquake for the Heatran, it had Double Edge. Like, Altaria was ready to take on its threats. Like, Heatran, Scissor, they would easily destroy an Altaria, but Check was prepared. Check was prepared. Huge props to you, Check. And overall, I think Check just played flawlessly. He really played flawless and amazing. That's why the battle I enjoyed the most from his side. That was amazing. But yeah, that's all about Check. Check being in my number 6 spot. And now, we shall move on to my 5th spot, the last spot in my mid-tier people thing in the rankings. And 5th spot being Charlie Chi, the amazing Chi, the New Crustle United, pulling off a 2-0 victory against the Chicago Cubs and their new coach Eric. As I already said when I was talking about Eric, I think Charlie would have lost if it didn't get extremely lucky on the Moonblast crit on the Spiritomb, because as I said, Aromatisse is set up further for Spiritomb at a certain point. Like, if you bring in Aromatisse on a Spiritomb that's already +2 on both stats, it's set up further. And yeah, he got a crit, OHKO the Spiritomb, and that ended the sweep. So, if he didn't get the crit, I think the Spiritomb would have clean swept him. And yeah, he got really lucky, but nonetheless, he tried to set up a nasty plot on the Roserade. I'm changing topics fast. There was an occasion where the Mismagius was in on the Roserade, and he realized that Roserade couldn't do too much. Like, Mismagius has decent bulk, even uninvested, but I think he was invested. So he saw the opportunity to set up a nasty plot. Eric did go for Sludge Bomb, which was resisted. Probably just get off the poison, but yeah. Really nice. He saw the opportunity to set up and went for it. That was really nice. I mean, nasty plot Mismagius didn't do too much. It took down the Roserade and something else. I think the Rotom Heat. Oh yeah, Eric really choked with the Rotom Heat, but yeah. It managed to take down 2 pokes, and unfortunately, he afterwards misclicked on the Garchomp and went for Power Gem again instead of Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball would have probably done around 60 to 70%, which would have been a lot to a Garchomp. But yeah, I didn't see any major misplays on Charlie Chi at all. Besides the misclick, of course, but otherwise Charlie played fantastically. As I already said, he got lucky with the crit, and yeah, there were no major misplays. So props to you, Charlie. But yeah, this rounds up my 5th spot, and now we shall go to the glory that lies on top of the power rankings. Oh my god, guys, you don't even know how hard it is to put the top 4 into their rankings. Like, we have Mono, Travistey, Kelly, Troy, and they all play so well, and they're all so close together. They all perform so amazingly. It's so hard to put them into rankings. Like, I had Travistey on my number 1 spot last week, and now he's all the way down back at 3. And instead Kelly moved up. Troy moved up 1 spot as well, but it is so hard to put people into rankings. It is so hard to put these 4 on the top. And yeah, but enough rambling around. We shall move on with the 4th spot being Monotooi. And oh my god, I already said Jack was probably my favorite battle. Like, he played fantastically, but the battle between Mono and Troy, it literally, I was on needles. It had me on edge all the time. It was such a close battle. It ended up in a 50-50. Like, who's gonna predict and who won't predict? Like, who overpredicts and who predicts right? It ended up ending up like that. Unfortunately for Mono, he knew, I think he said he knew the Hunchcrow, he kinda knew the Hunchcrow would have substitute. So yeah, it ended up being a 50-50 from sleep talking with sucker punches and PP stalling and just all that stuff. And yeah. So as you guys have already, as you can already tell, I actually watched his Mono's battle this time, and I have to apologize for last week, that I was so harsh about your video being unwatchable. I'm so sorry. I should never say that, but you did a great job this week, and I see a slight beard going on there, Mono. I see a slight beard going on there, and I like that. Hit me up. But yeah, back to analyzing him. Anal. If Beck is not here, I have to shit talk with myself to make it at least a little bit entertaining. What the Beck? But yeah, Mono, as I said, it ended up being in a 50-50, and we all know Mono, he's an amazing battler. Oh my god. Throughout the whole battle, throughout his whole PPL history, he always took berries in consideration. I extremely like, I think if he went for crunch on the Larios with the Aerodactyl, and Larios would have actually had the berry to weaken crunch, it would have lived, but it would have not lived an Ice Fang without the berry that weakens ice attacks. And oh god, I mean, that blew my mind. I would have never thought of that. Mono, you are such an amazing battler. That really shows how skilled you are. Yeah, I also really like the baton pass into Hariyama. I mean, Trick Room from Slowking ended that turn, and he saw that. Of course, on Showdown you can actually see that, so it's a lot easier to keep track of all these kind of things. And he baton passed into Togetic. He baton passed with Togetic into Hariyama to put on pressure on the Slowking, forcing it out. And that was a really nice switch. Really nice taking advantage of the last turn of Trick Room. And yeah, the mind games, of course, in the end were real. I like how we had Sleep Talk on the Excadrill to deal kind of with the Among Us and all that fun stuff. But yeah, Mona, you played fantastically this week. You really did. And it was so heartbreaking to put you in the 4th spot. But yeah, this is my 4th spot. As I already said, Mono, amazing. And this brings me to my number 3 spot, being Travistey. Travistey, oh god, where do I have my notes? I think I have something written down for Travistey. Oh my god, I'm so unorganized. There we go. I really like this team building on Sinister Sableye again. Oh my god, on Mega Sableye, of course. He had Foul Play, and he just went for that from the beginning. Instead of going for Will-O-Wisp on the Flygon, he went for Foul Play. from the beginning, and it did so much damage. It put on so much pressure. It was a 3-hit KO on the Charizard X, I think. It just did so much damage. It put on so much pressure onto Ruby, and he definitely had to adjust to that and kind of play differently. But yeah, I think he also put Foul Play on there just to deal with all the physical threats Ruby has on his team, so that's definitely nice. Like, putting on pressure onto your opponent from the beginning is really important. Like, well done, Travistey, really well done. Also, one thing I want to point out, he never went for a Will-O-Wisp with Sableye. Of course he did later on in the battle, but he should have gone for that earlier. He had so many opportunities to burn something, and he just didn't go for it. Like, residual damage on anything is amazing, Travistey. You waited a little bit too long, for my liking. You waited a little too long for my liking to finally burn something. Like, that's my opinion. I would have burned something a lot earlier. But yeah, Travistey also always tried to keep up the rocks because he knew how crucial they could be. And as soon as Flygon defogged the rocks, he always immediately tried to set them back up again. And he knew how important rocks were, and he always tried to keep them up. So definitely realizing what could win you the game and then try to keep it up as many times as possible. Amazing. Also, one thing, I think Sableye died a little too early. From my notes, Sableye died a little bit too early, but I think Travistey realized that he should have stalled a little bit more against the Mamoswine. Earthquake didn't do too much. It did like 45% at maximum, so he could have just easily gone for recover spam, possibly even PP stall, but he realized that he kind of died too early, and he should have gone for recover until he was at Beck at full amount of HP, and then just foul play the Mamoswine twice and take it down with it. So yeah, but it was an amazing battle overall. I like how Travistey played this week. It was amazing. But yeah, that rounds up my number 3 spot this week, being Travistey, and now we shall move on to number 2, being Kelly. Kelly, amazing. Like, I don't have anything bad Kelly, imagine, I don't have anything bad to say this week. You definitely deserve to be second. You finally moved up to second spot in my rankings. You finally moved up to second rank. Definitely deserved. Like, you played amazingly, without any flaws, in my opinion. You played so good this week. You played so well, and I don't have anything to point out. Like, it was an overall amazing battle. You are just amazing. I loved Store Plower. That's a new move, Store Plower. I love Store Power. Stored Cosmic Power. Oh god. Yeah, you know what I mean. I love the set you had on Clefable. I love Stall, so I really appreciated you bringing that. Yeah, amazing. Kelly, you did so well. You won 5-0. And I don't have anything to say about that. Great. Definitely deserved being my number 2 spot. And yeah, that already brings me to number 1 spot. I don't have too much to say about Kelly. I'm so sorry, because he played flawlessly. Like, yeah. So this brings me to my number 1 spot, already being Troy. Oh god, Troy. What an amazing battle. I already said on Mono that the battle was probably the best one this week, and I loved it. As I already said, the end game was a 50-50, but I think you only had 1 Sucker Punch left, so you went for the ballsy move and go for this substitute with Honchkrow, and that won you the game. Like, you took a huge risk. You took a huge risk with high reward, definitely. One thing, the Trick Room on Slowking was an amazing idea. regarding how fast Mono's team could potentially be, not including Togetic and Hariyama, from both of them which he brought. So I kind of want to say Trick Room was an amazing idea, but somehow it wasn't. Like, Hariyama was a threat. Looking at your draft, Hariyama was a threat from the beginning. So Trick Room was a 50-50. If Mono took a little bit more advantage of the Trick Room himself and tried to do some shenanigans with Hariyama, the Trick Room could have potentially hurt you more than benefited. Like, but yeah, I don't have, Troy, 50-50 at the end. Nice team building once again. And yeah, that's all I have to say about Troy. And yeah, as I already said, putting the top 4 into their respective rankings and be happy with that is so hard. The bottom 4 and the top 4 are so good. Mono, Travistey, Kelly, and Troy. It's so hard to put you in your rankings. Oh my god, play worse, guys, come on. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention that once. On the left, of course, there are my rankings, and on the right, there are Beck rankings. Her rankings are still from week 5. Like, disregard her rankings. Her ranks are not up to date. Mine are, but hers are not. So yeah, that's maybe why you were probably looking at her rankings like, what the fuck. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Beck hopefully is joining me again next week. Otherwise, I'm just gonna do them all by myself. I'm having really fun doing them by myself as well. Nonetheless, I would be a lot more comfortable having Beck with me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed week 6 power rankings. I definitely did. And yeah, have a nice day, everyone. Bye.